I'm joined now by Larry Lattig, president of Mesirow Financial Consulting. And Larry, I know that you do a lot of dealing with the unions, and that can be a little tricky. So if you can give us a little insight about all of that.
I do have done a lot of engagements where unions play an important part in the restructuring of a firm. I'm currently involved in American Airlines. I'm involved in Patriot Coal, where it's the United Mine Workers. And I was involved in Chrysler, where it was the UAW. I think in reference to deal makers, you have to realize in today's world that one, a company that can't control its own labor costs because of a union is going to be probably penalized, and maybe the company that has to be restructured. In dealing with that, you got to realize that you got another party at the table. You don't have just lenders or just unsecured creditors or just federal regulations or whatever that caused your bankruptcy. What you really have is you have another agenda out there by people that are counting on your firm for their income. The history of labor in this country has been that you always got a better contract, you always got more benefits, you always got more work rule changes, and all of those things have got to change.
Yeah, you don't get that anymore. Yeah. So I was going to ask you that. Okay, so you worked on Chrysler. Now that was years ago. How has it changed for you, the negotiations and all that? How has it changed over the years to what we are seeing today? Because the reality is we can't have all these things we used to have.
Well, I think reality is the key word. I think that in negotiating or discussing with unions regarding their collective bargaining agreement, one of the things that I've seen as a major change is the reality that we're going to have to make some concessions here. And we're going to have to figure this out before we get to the court, because there is a special section of the Bankruptcy Code, Section 1113, that is designed to deal with collective bargaining agreements in bankruptcy. Well, the history of that is that you have to present two things. You have to present a fair and honest offer, and that you've offered to negotiate with the union. And two, you have to present necessity. If you're a bankrupt company, you can pretty well do that every time.
Can you ever walk away with both sides happy? Or does everybody feel like they lost something?
Well, I think you can. I think in the transaction with American Airlines and US Air, the unions took on the task early on of supporting that transaction. Now, they may have not gotten the contract that they wanted, but they did get the merger that they wanted, which created what will become the world's largest airline, and eventually bodes well for them in terms of keeping jobs and increasing incomes.
What do you have to do to be successful at this, to work out the best deal you can with the unions? What do you have to keep in mind?
Well, first of all, you have to be a person that doesn't sleep. Yeah, but you also have to keep in mind that to us it's a business of dealing with the union.
Right.
To the union negotiating committee, which is always employees, you have to realize that this is their personal income. This is a change to people's lives. Years and years ago, I did Bethlehem Steel, which was purchased by Wilbur Ross. But one of the parts that came out of that is that their retirees lost their medical benefits. Well, they're 65-year-old people, at least, who worked in a steel plant all their life. And suddenly you're telling them they got to go out and find independent insurance? That's not a lot of carriers lining up to carry that. So
you have a challenging job.
Thank you.
But I know you do a very good job. So
thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. It's really good to see you again.